All right, let's talk about something we've all felt. Something that can absolutely knock the wind out of us. Rejection. We're going to dive into the psychology of why that sting hurts so darn much. And more importantly, we'll get into some real, practical ways you can start to overcome it.
It all begins with that feeling. You know the one I'm talking about. That sharp, gut punch feeling when you feel like you've been pushed aside. Just think about it for a second. That sinking feeling in your stomach, maybe your face gets a little hot. It feels so personal, so painful. But here's the thing. It's an experience that literally every single one of us has gone through. You are not alone in this.
And it shows up in so many ways, right? It could be something subtle, like being ignored when you try to join a conversation. Or it can be super direct, like just hearing the word no. It's not getting picked for the team, or that awful feeling of being on the outside of a group looking in. All of these moments, whether they feel big or small, they all poke at the exact same core fear.
But here is maybe the most important thing you'll hear today. This fear, it is not a weakness. It's not some personal flaw you have. It's actually a survival instinct, something that's been hardwired into our brains for thousands and thousands of years.
So, let's really dig into the mechanics of this. Why does something that seems like, just a social bump in the road feel so intensely painful? Well, the answer is all about our brain's ancient wiring. You see, at its core, this fear is really about what might happen. It's that anxiety that creeps in before you even do something, that worry that you're going to be judged, that you'll be dismissed or pushed away. That's the feeling that makes us slam on the brakes and avoid taking risks we know we probably should.
And here's the huge disconnect. In our modern lives, we see rejection as a social inconvenience, right? A temporary setback. But our ancient brain, our survival brain, it sees a serious threat. Back then, being cast out from the tribe was a literal death sentence. No protection, no food, no safety. Your brain still reacts with that same level of primal panic.
And the science on this is just wild. Neuroscientists have actually scanned people's brains and found that social rejection lights up the exact same regions that process physical pain. So when you say rejection hurts, you're not being dramatic. To your brain, it is real pain. It's a powerful alarm bell telling you something is very, very wrong.
It all circles back to one of our most basic human needs, the need to belong. We are fundamentally social creatures. We're built for connection, for acceptance, for inclusion. So when we get rejected, it threatens that core need, and our brain flags it as a major danger.
But here's the tricky part. This is where we crank up the volume on that pain. We take what is just an external event, that didn't work out, and we twist it into an internal judgment. It stops being about the situation, and it becomes a story we tell ourselves, I'm not good enough. And that is what can make it feel so devastating.
Okay, so we get it. It hurts for very real biological reasons. But the real problem isn't the feeling of rejection itself. It's what we do to avoid that feeling. The price we pay for constantly hiding from rejection is so much higher than the sting itself.
And we get caught in this vicious cycle. Let me walk you through it. So first, you're faced with a risk. Immediately, your brain jumps to the worst-case scenario, imagining how bad that rejection will feel. That makes you anxious. So what do? You avoid the situation entirely. And for a second, you feel this wave of relief. But here's the trap. That relief teaches your brain that avoidance works, and that just makes the fear even stronger for the next time. And the long-term cost of living in that cycle? It's huge. Every time you avoid a risk, you're shutting the door on an opportunity. Your confidence starts to wear down, and your world, your comfort zone, just gets smaller and smaller, trapping you inside.
And really, it all boils down to this. The pain of being told no is temporary. It fades. But the regret from all the chances you were too afraid to take, that can stick with you for a lifetime.
So the big question is, how do we get out of this mess? Well, the good news is, you absolutely can. This fear cycle can be broken. Let's get into the actual strategies for how to do it.
Step 1, and this is the most powerful one, is you have to redefine what rejection means to you. It's about shifting from that old, painful thought, I'm not good enough, to a new, more neutral one, this just wasn't the right fit. See the difference? It takes the personal sting out of it. It's not a verdict on you. It's just information about compatibility. I want you to let this one really sink in. Your value, your worth as a person is constant. It doesn't go up when someone says yes, and it sure as heck doesn't go down when someone says no. Their response is about them, their needs, their timing, their preferences. It is not a measurement of you. Now, you can't just think your way out of this fear. You have to act your way out. And it's not about taking some massive, terrifying leap. It's about taking small, consistent risks. Maybe this week, your goal is just to speak up once in a meeting, or share one opinion you normally keep to yourself. Each tiny action proves to your brain that, hey, rejection isn't a life or death threat after all. You're slowly rewiring that fear response.
And this right here is a total game changer. You've got to shift your definition of success. The old goal was all about getting approval, right? Will they like me? Forget that. The new goal is simply, did I take the action? Did you send the email? Did you ask the question? If you did the thing you were afraid to do, you've already won. The outcome is just extra data.
So when we start to bring all of this together, something really cool starts to happen. The word no stops feeling like this big, scary wall you're going to crash into, and it starts to feel like a doorway to freedom. And here's the key insight, the thing to remember. Our brains are just trying to do their job. They're wired to protect us. But in our modern world, that ancient programming is often misfiring. The fear feels very real, but the actual threat, it's usually overblown and misplaced. Just knowing that is half the battle.
So let's be crystal clear about where the real danger lies. It's not rejection. Rejection feels uncomfortable for sure, but it's not actually dangerous. The real danger is avoiding it. That's what shrinks your life, that's what limits your potential, that's the thing that will truly harm you in the long run.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. What would change for you? What could you do? Who could you become if hearing no wasn't an endpoint? What if it was just proof that you're pushing your boundaries, that you're taking chances, and that you're really truly living? What if no wasn't a stop sign, but the very key that unlocks your freedom?